Krissy Vann joining you, and farmers, some spring rain on the way for the Maritimes through the day today into parts of northwestern New Brunswick. We could be looking at higher totals and an isolated thunder shower. Different story in Ontario. It's been very dry. Look at this. Kingston, only 5.7 millimeters of rain compared to the 78.4 you should have seen thus far. We are looking at some showers moving in today, but highest amounts of rainfall will be to the north. Thanks so much for that, Kelly. We're going to be joined by Chris Murphy in a moment, but first a look at our developing stories. We're going to track thunderstorms today, the wildfire risk that worsens, and we'll talk the deadly floods and tornado. Now, into the Maritimes, we are seeing light rain move through courtesy of a warm front. Could see some thunderstorms fueling up in parts of northwestern New Brunswick and through Saguenay, Quebec. We also have the potential of seeing widespread thunderstorms as we make our way through the evening and the overnight hours. We could see some thunderstorms fuel up in Ontario this afternoon, even through areas like Chatham, Sarnia, Windsor, and heading up toward Cottage Country. In the west, the wildfire situation continues. I'll have more details on that ahead. But first, we join Chris with a bit of a dry spell in Ontario.
Ontario has been dry in the south, Krissy. The west has been exceptionally dry.
Yes, and it's created this. And luckily now it's 100% contained, but we are seeing the wildfire risk extreme values in Alberta, and of course, seeing thunderstorms in through the interior of BC and western Alberta. Not going to help the situation. Must-see video. We see plenty of sunshine there, and coming up, we will have...
Visit our new and improved video gallery showing you the latest weather news, viewer videos, and more. Only on theweathernetwork.com.
Krissy Vann joining you. Time for Share Your Weather. And have you been doing the 30 by 30 challenge? It's May 26th, so 26 days in. And if you're looking for an activity to get outdoors, enjoy that 30 minutes. Paddle at sunset. And what a beautiful sunset it was yesterday in the South Shore of Nova Scotia. This picture courtesy of Sarah Fitzpatrick. So Sarah, because you shared your weather with us, you have earned your personalized forecast. And I hate to say it, you'll need the umbrella in Shelburne, Nova Scotia. 15 degrees for you and light rain. That's going to be clearing out, though, as you head through the latter portion of the day. Look at this. Temperatures across the country. 19 in Vancouver. We have 29 in Regina. Winnipeg at 30. Even St. John's. You made it into the 20s for the first time this year. I'm just wondering if I missed the memo when summer arrived. Looking this evening, really pleasant conditions, a mix of sun and cloud for most areas. Looking at a risk of thunderstorms developing in the city of Toronto. With thunderstorms causes lightning. An emergency disaster situation for several counties. I believe over 20 at this point. So we'll continue to follow that story here on TV and at theweathernetwork.com. Krissy Vann joining you. We're talking a thunderstorm risk widespread as we head through this evening and overnight, and outdoors in the muggy and humid conditions. We join Kelly Noseworthy. Thanks, Kelly. Looking forward to catching back up with you. Into Ontario, temperatures overnight 16 degrees. In Toronto, 14 in Timmins, but again, widespread showers. Risk of spotty, isolated thunderstorms as well. But has it been quite dry in May? Well, I'll answer that question in a moment. But first, we join Kevin Yard with Toronto's newest cultural hub. Thanks, Kevin. I'm sure with the muggy conditions, he's tempted to jump in there. May, it has been dry. You're not imagining things. Toronto has only seen 19.4 millimeters compared to the 74.3 you should have seen. Now, stateside in Mexico, we're going to talk about this devastating tornado. Krissy Vann in for Nicole Karkic, Chris Murphy and Kelly Noseworthy join the show in just a moment. But developing stories where we're tracking the thunderstorms today, how the wildfire risk worsens and deadly floods and tornadoes. Looking across the country, you'll see the most activity at the moment, the Maritimes and Quebec as this warm front pushes through. We'll break down how much rain you'll see in a moment, but we head to Chris Murphy now where the story is dry, and that's not creating a good situation. Thanks for that, Kelly. We're going to break down who's going to be seeing rain and how much coming up. Your 14-day trend on the way as well. Krissy Vann in for Nicole Karkic. And as you saw in your top 5, Hurricane Hazel. We'll join Kelly Noseworthy coming up with the Hurricane Hazel connection. But first, we'll look at our radar, and you'll see those showers pushing in to the maritime provinces, lingering in Quebec as well. Temperatures balmy though. Moncton 23 degrees this afternoon. St. John's, you've made it to 23 as well. Your first temperature in the 20s so far this year. These are the showers moving through Quebec, Saguenay, getting into some heavier showers as well. You're looking at a risk of thunderstorms as we head through the afternoon, and a thunderstorm risk widespread as we head through the evening and overnight today. Non-severe in nature, but as they fuel up, heavy downpours and gusty winds will be the story. Now with the story outdoors, we hand it over to you, Kelly. Krissy Vann joining you in for Nicole Karkic, and exactly what you saw there in Force of Nature. We're going to continue to see relatively dry conditions in the west. We'll be watching rain pushing through Quebec and into the Maritimes. Into Ontario, though, we do have the potential of some non-severe thunderstorms through this afternoon and evening. The risk for the afternoon, evening, mainly through Cottage Country and Southwest, but as we head through the overnight, we could see a more widespread risk throughout the province. So bear in mind, in thunderstorms, gusty winds and heavy downpours. Those are going to be your main concerns. Looking this afternoon, the thunderstorm risk in the Maritimes really through northwestern and northern portions of New Brunswick. Of course, thunderstorms, lightning, not good for those of you in the west with the wildfire risk now at extreme. And as you heard in Force of Nature, Alberta has the fire ban now. We are still seeing some very high potential through BC. And thunderstorms, not a good recipe when you are dealing with that. The prairie provinces seeing a thunderstorm risk as well could fuel up this afternoon through Winnipeg, Saskatoon, and western Alberta. Looking in through the BC interior, this is actually the past lightning strikes that we've seen. And any of those yellows that you're seeing, that's a positive charge, which is what could fuel the wildfire activity. While working on it, that situation's greatly improved, but now we're seeing the problem spots fire up in other provinces as well. This afternoon, we're continuing to see the same setup that we have over the last couple of days, which means the thunderstorm risk continues. Vancouver, you're quite lucky. You are going to be staying relatively dry and above seasonal. Look at this Friday, feeling like 27. So even a little bit of humidity out there. Winnipeg, your tail takes a turn when it comes to temperatures. You're looking at 24 degrees on your Wednesday, and then look at this. By Friday, courtesy of some high pressure, 13 degrees. Of course, in Mexico, there was a devastating tornado. Thanks, Kelly. So we'll be checking back with Kelly and joining Chris Murphy in just a moment. Couple stories we're following, tracking the thunderstorms today. We'll talk about the wildfires and deadly floods and a tornado. Now, of course, through the Maritimes, we are seeing light rain to start things off and a thunderstorm risk along the St. Lawrence. So portions of Quebec, New Brunswick, non-severe in nature. We're looking at a risk of thunderstorms as well through the evening and overnight, widespread across Ontario. And with more on the Ontario story, Chris, it's been on the dry side. Of course, Chris, I'm sure a struggle for farmers. Wildfire was going out of control, now 100% contained, but we have thousands impacted already in Alberta. There have been evacuations. You can see an extreme wildfire risk. Even they had to shut down some of the oil sand operations. So dry conditions continue, the heat continues, and a thunderstorm risk through the prairie provinces, western portions of Alberta. We also have the risk of thunderstorms extending yet again through the BC interior. The situation continues to escalate. You can see a large swath of the provinces in extreme danger rating. I know some of the oil sand operations in Alberta have had to shut down because of this as well. Thousands evacuated from the Wabaska and Big Stone Creek First Nations. The thunderstorms not helping the situation. We still see the risk through the BC interior and western Alberta, as well as thunderstorm risk extending through Saskatchewan. So Saskatoon, Prince Albert, do watch out for those firing up this afternoon. Lightning being the big concern with those dry conditions. Hot and humid in the city of Toronto, and that's where we join Kelly Noseworthy. Thanks so much for that, Kelly. Now, with the hot, humid conditions, a couple lingering showers through the morning hours for areas north of the GTA, but a widespread thunderstorm risk this evening, overnight. Biggest threats are going to be the gusty winds and potential of some heavy downpours. As well, along the St. Lawrence and through Quebec, New Brunswick, we do have the potential of some thunderstorms fueling up through the afternoon. So again, gusty winds and rain going to be the issue. Must-see video here, the damage out of this border town in Mexico.